This is a production of the Gold Arrow Podcast Network. Hello, and welcome to the Gold Arrow Camp Podcast, a podcast for friends of Gold Arrow Camp. Throughout the year, we'll be joining you to bring your day some of what makes Gold Arrow special. Our goal is to help you have fun, make friends, and grow throughout the year, not just when you're at GAC. Since we can't get together in real life, we gather here around the virtual campfire. We have some of your favorite parts of morning assembly, and we have interviews with experienced campers and some of your favorite counselors. We think it's a lot of fun, and we're glad you joined us here on the podcast. This is podcast episode 16. Today's Sunshine chats with longtime camper and Junior Counselor Henry Yeary about school, gap years, what he learned at camp, and why he's still rocking a flip phone. Today we're hearing from longtime camper Henry Yeary, and Henry has some really good insights about what makes camp so special. And I really enjoyed listening to he and Sunshine chat. I think one of the big takeaways for me was how much camp influences the rest of our year. I think our tendency is to put camp in a box for the time we're at camp. But Henry's experience shows that camp is so much bigger than that. And it was a powerful reminder for me that what we do at camp shapes who we are the rest of the year. I know you're all waiting with bated breath, I can tell, because this is the point in the show where I've been playing some guitar, and today is no different. Now, of course, this is the most stressful part of the podcast for me because I do this in one take. I don't go back and edit the guitar, so you get to hear the real progress. Here it is, the beginnings of, I hope, On the Loose.
Hey, Henry, it's Sunshine. How's it going?
It's good. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk with you. You have a lot of fun things going on in your life right now.
Yeah, I do.
So, first of all, why don't you just start by telling a little bit about your history at camp, like how many years you came to camp and
Sure.
all that good stuff.
Yeah, let's see. I first came, maybe it was back in 2004 or something. I was very small. I came with pretty much my whole family. I have 5 siblings. So I think 4 other siblings came, and it was the 5 of us. The one younger than me was too young to come at that time. And we all went, and then that was the first kind of family camp experience. And then waited a year and ended up coming back again for another 6 years. So I was a camper for 7 years. And then I was a junior counselor 2 summers ago, and was working with Cabin 15, the young ones.
Awesome. So when
Yeah.
you look back, you're a very memorable camper for all of us, just in terms of your great energy and your really positive outlook about everything. And I'm just
Thank you.
wondering how you think your time at camp just sort of influenced your development as a person and the person you are today.
Yeah. First of all, I would say it was huge. It impacted me very heavily. Now, like the most notable thing I can think of is just how interested in nature I am. My first summer up there, detached, like you're calling me on a flip phone. I have a flip phone right now. It's kind of the disconnect that I have.
Wow.
I just really want to, I really want to be just living through my surroundings. I don't want to be on a technological world that is super, distant from the one that I'm really living. So I got super interested in nature, being up in the mountains with the lake, being able to, something that really stood out to me was how strong of human relationships you can build being in nature, surrounded by nature, and away from technology and away from distractions. And so that was one thing that I definitely took from camp and even built upon in my everyday life outside of camp. I still go on hikes regularly every single week. There was a period last year where I would go on a walk every single day after school. I just kind of needed some time to just kind of walk and and be surrounded by nature. And so that's the first notable thing that I'd say. Also, I would say finding fun along the way. Camp definitely taught me, no matter what the activity I was doing, that there are little snippets of fun that you can enlarge to be just incredibly amusing, and you can really find fun and beautiful, positive things everywhere, whatever you're doing. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay, I just want to go back because you kind of said that quickly about the flip phone. Are you the only person in your high school who has a flip phone? I'm just curious.
Yeah, people poke fun of me, asking if it's a dinosaur or whatnot. I am. I think I'm the only one in my school that's got a flip phone right now. I didn't have a phone for a little bit. See, I had some issues with like water damage. I'd have a phone and then it would get cracked and it would like fall in a puddle, and so my iPhone was no longer. And then I wouldn't have a phone, and my mom would make me go get one. And I was like, all right, I'll settle for a flip phone. My older brother, who's a fifth-year senior at Occidental right now in LA, he also actually is living the flip phone life. So we have some jokes about it and bond over it.
You know what? I actually think they're kind of retro and cool, and maybe they'll make a comeback with everyone realizing how bad it is to kind of be constantly, thinking about, because you feel like when you have a smartphone, it makes you feel like you're supposed to be then checking everything on it all the time.
Exactly.
And so if you just don't have those things, it's so awesome. But anyway, I think that's really quite unique. And I don't think you said at the beginning, Henry, why don't you tell everyone how old you are now and kind of what's going on in your life so they know what we're talking about?
Sure, yeah. So I'm 18 now. This past summer, I've been really interested in acting pretty much my whole life. Performing was something and entertaining was something that really intrigued me. So I had been acting pretty much through middle school and then a lot in high school. And it wasn't just until this past summer when I was in LA, I was doing a 6.5-week program in Hollywood. And kind of after that experience, I really enjoyed it, but after it, I kind of had to take some time to really think about where I wanted to be heading, because it was also when I was deciding about colleges and kind of all of this stuff was on my plate about my future, and I really had to do some digging and figuring out what really interested me and where I wanted to go. So I did the whole college process, which was insightful, but I think camp, honestly, this is something that was interesting. A lot of people during the college process felt like they became really self-aware during this process, so they learned a lot about themselves. And I definitely did. That was something that I noticed. But I felt, actually, I realized that camp had given me a lot of those tools to be self-aware and to understand myself and what drives me, what are my passions. And camp gave me those tools almost better than the college process could have. But I still, built on that and learn more about myself, and I decided maybe acting wasn't really where I wanted to put all of my eggs, just in that basket. So I kind of took a step back. I'm going to Emory University, which is in Atlanta, which we already laughed about because Charlotte goes there, and she's a freshman now. And so a little bit more of a liberal arts education. And then I decided that I wanted to take a gap year. I decided that I had been going through school for 12, 13 years, and it's been kind of the same thing over and over again. And some of the moments in my life where I felt like I've learned the most weren't necessarily in school. They were in settings that were like camp. They were in settings that were like, I have a job right now working at Sports Basement. I work retail for ski and snowboard gear. And, I feel like I take a lot away from those experiences. And so I wanted to get out. So I'm going to Ecuador. I'm going to be living, or Senegal, which is in Africa. And I'll be living in a small town, really ingrained in the community. And I'll be either doing animal conservation or teaching English, or, there's a bunch of different options for apprenticeships that you can do. And so that's really my plan. And after that, I'll be going to Indonesia and scuba diving and working there with communities and whatnot. So it's kind of a tentative plan right now, but it's shaping out to be pretty exciting.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so fabulous. Now I'm wondering, that's pretty adventurous and brave to go to another country for 9 months and immerse yourself in some small town with people you don't know. I'm wondering
Yeah.
if all your years at camp helped you feel that you're okay going places like that on your own.
Yeah, there's no question. One of the questions that you sent me was, what are your favorite activities in camp? And that's a question that you are often asked at a camp, and I never really came to one that I felt like was my favorite because I loved them all so much. And then I thought, the meal times to me always stood out as moments that I was always excited for. I was always excited to go to the dining hall and to be surrounded by a bunch of other strangers that I knew were part of this community and I knew were positive and loving and caring. And so definitely, to answer your question, there's no question that the courage to talk to people, to feel comfortable in a community, I definitely gathered that from camp. I would be going to these, the dining hall, to the meals, and interacting with people in the juice line or in the salad bar or in the pasta line, and everybody's happy to chat. And you really get to develop those social skills of being comfortable in a place that is a little bit foreign to you, talking to people that were strangers before, but within minutes can become good friends and last the rest of your camp session, or, go even longer onto, we have a group chat for all of our junior counselors, I still keep in contact with campers that I was in cabin with 5 years ago, so definitely.
That's so fabulous. It's funny, Henry, because a lot of times people, before they come to camp, they think they're coming to camp to go wakeboarding or do the different activities. But what all of us who are there know, it's what we really like are all the people and being in this big family group. And, and so it's so funny that you said that, the dining porch, because I mean, for me, I love like being together at big campfire or morning assembly or the different things. So that's funny that you can articulate that so well, that really the best parts of camp are not the things that anyone has seen on the website,
It's true, and I was thinking about how at camp I'm always filled with such high energy and such like an overwhelming sense of positivity. And I was thinking about this in the same context that you were just talking about the people at camp, and for some time I thought maybe it was me who was fueling this energy within myself or this positivity within myself, but it's just not at all true. I could go up to the Fresno Mountains, and go to camp and go sit at some camp by myself and wakeboard or swim in the sea or go rock climbing, and I wouldn't be filled with half as much energy or positivity that I am when I'm at Gold Arrow. And it really is the environment there and the community that gives you all of that energy, that fuels you to just go on and be so creative and so energetic and just full of life every single day after day. And you get that from the other people that you're interacting with. So it's an incredible community and an incredible environment.
Oh, that's such an awesome testimonial. Okay, so now, of course, tell us what your camp name was when you were a junior counselor, and for, of course, when you come back as a counselor.
Yes. So my camp name was Raptor. Why my camp name was Raptor? I love dinosaurs. I really enjoy basketball. I have a basketball hat that's the Toronto Raptors. It was something that just kind of, it was intuition. I was like, Raptor is it was a good name. I've always loved dinosaurs. Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies. So I went with that. And then kind of on a funny note, my older brother, 2 years older than me, he was a camper for 1 year and then ultimately didn't go back, but decided, I persuaded him to go back as a counselor, and he made his camp name T-Rex. So now we have a family like dinosaur nickname there. Maybe another person would go Bronchiosaurus. You never know.
Yeah, no. Yeah, now everyone in your family, when they come as counselors, has to have a dinosaur name. You guys have set the trend.
Exactly.
You set the trend, so you have to do that. Okay, well, let's see. Couple last questions. Just looking at the junior counselor program for kids who are thinking about that, how did you think that was different, and how did you benefit, do you think, from participating in that program specifically after you were done with your camper years at GAC?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the junior counselor program. I did it. It was part of the first group that ever started it. Before I was a junior counselor, there was the CIT program, counselor in training, and then they ended up changing it, as you know, to the junior counselor program, so that they have, the 2 weeks before where you're kind of training to be a counselor, and then the 2 weeks where you're actually put in the shoes to use those skills, hands-on experience. And I loved it. I thought that the leadership portion of it was really strong. I think that this actually, same with my years as a camper, but more so junior counselor was really where I got those self-aware tools and felt like I could channel all of I feel like I had leadership skills, but they were almost, scattered. They were just littered throughout the air and space. And this kind of junior counselor program allowed me to funnel it and channel it and organize it so I could really, have a tangible sense of my leadership skills. Definitely with working with kids, I got the idea of I noticed the importance of patience and the importance of, just flooding kindness. If you're telling, your kids to not jump on rocks, you might have to tell them more than once to do this. And you can't just start, getting angry and snap at them after the second time. They're kids, and yes, you want them to be safe, so remind them, but you got to do it in a nice, light, happy tone every single time you do it. So it's those kind of skills and tactics, yeah.
Okay, so when you come back as a counselor at GAC in a couple of summers, or when you're back from your travels, what's your dream job at camp? What kind of counselor do you want to be?
Oh, man, I've given this a lot of thought, and surprisingly, the more I think about it, the more I don't know. There's so many things there that I would love to get my hands in. I think, though, definitely on the list is being a GC. So I've always really loved bonding with people, and to lead and kind of spend a substantial amount of time with some kids, whatever their age group, honestly, I would love. So definitely getting my hands in that. And yeah, activity-wise, if I was to be an activities counselor, I couldn't choose. I would. I mean, being out on the water has always been nice to me because it's just kind of this sense of freedom and openness and ability to express yourself, and you're kind of free and it's carefree out on the water. So maybe something on the lake. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough question.
Well, that's good. Well, the good thing is there's time for all of it. You can come back one summer and do something. So we're excited.
Exactly.
We're really excited for that summer when we get you back as a counselor, because you will be terrific, just like you were as a junior counselor, and just very.
I believe it'll be my first year after freshman year.
Awesome. Well, we're holding the spot for you. So,
Thank you.
We're ready for you to be there. So
Very kind.
let's see, that's the summer of. Right now we're summer of 2017. So then you're
probably 2019.
2019. All right. Well, we will just reserve
some time away. But
yeah, that what, as we know, time goes really quickly, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, this has been so much fun. I'm going to end with our speed round questions that Soy always asks the interviewees on the podcast.
Let's do it.
And they are: what is your favorite GAC Repeat After Me song?
Oh, it must be the moose song. There was a great big moose. There was a great big moose who liked to drink a lot of juice.
He liked. Oh, yeah, that's
Moose's
it. That
name
is
was
a good one.
Fred.
So good. We're gonna have to get you to record the whole thing. We can put that up sometime. Okay. How about this, Henry?
Oh man, I don't know if people want to hear me sing.
They sure do. What about your favorite item on the salad bar?
Oh, I love croutons. Croutons are great even without salad. So I'm just going to go classic and say croutons.
Oh, wait, you're one of those campers that goes to the end of the salad bar and just fills a plate of croutons. Yes. I just caught you. You were telling your mom you had a salad every day, and it was just a plate of croutons. All right, gotcha.
Exactly.
And, okay, and then I don't think you were here last year, but you were here, I think, our first year, or maybe you've heard about them. Do you have a favorite GAC lip balm flavor?
Oh, 100%. I still keep the Lakeshore Lemonade in my backpack and use it occasionally. I used it like 2 days ago in my math class. I was sitting in CalcStat and whipped it out. And Josh Dennings, I was a camper with him. This is a really quick, funny story that we'll end on. I don't want to take too much of your time, but
that's fine.
I used to live in New York, and the first year I went to Gold Arrow, I was living in New York. Then the second year I went after a year break was the same year that I was moving from New York to California. And so I went and met this kid named Josh Dennings there. I was in his cabin, same age as me, and he was a student at the same school that I was going to be going to after that summer.
Oh.
So we met, developed this incredible friendship. We're still like really great buddies today. Went to camp together for a couple years. So when I pull out like the Lakeshore Lemonade, he'll like know it and he'll like ask for some. It's really funny. So
that is such a great story. That gave me the chills. That's so fun. So you were going to a new school, but you already had a good friend because you had met him at camp. That's really fun.
Yeah.
That is
and now
so
we're
great.
Still buddies in math class today.
That is so great. And you can just pull out that Lakeshore Lemonade whenever you need a little memory of camp.
I do.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it has been so awesome talking with you. You have such a fun sounding future coming up, and we can't wait to keep up with you. You must send us pictures and updates on all your travels and adventures so that we can share them with the whole GAC family, because we're all rooting for you as you head out after high school on all these great things. And we can't wait to see you back at GAC pretty soon.
Yeah, it's been lovely speaking to you. Thank you for hosting me all those summers in Gold Air on those mountains. They're truly a home away from home.
Aw, thanks, Henry. So great talking to you. Keep in touch, and we'll talk soon, okay?
You too. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
In a world with far too much seriousness, far too much drama, we bring you something different. The joke of the cast. Do you guys know what blood type most optimists are? B positive. And now, it's time for another Gaxpiration with Sunshine. We're actually going to change things up. It's your old friend Soy with the Gaxpiration this week, and it's because Sunshine got to do the interview with Henry Yeary. And this one's a little bit different. Camp's right around the corner, and so with that, we turn to our friend, the great naturalist John Muir, who once said, "Going to the mountains is going home." And with those words of wisdom, the podcast draws to a close. I want to thank Sunshine for that interview. I want to thank Henry Yeary for taking time to do that interview. I thought it was a really good one. I thought they had some really good insights. And I want to thank you for listening. All right, the podcast is nothing without you. If you like it, rate it, review it on iTunes, share it with somebody. We love to have people listen, even if they don't go to camp. We think there's valuable stuff there for everybody. Until next time, I'm Soy, and I'll save a marshmallow for you.